President of India, Ms. Draupadi Murmu, in her first address to the nation after taking over as the head of state, had spoken about sustainable planet and India's ancient traditions and sustainable lifestyle. We take necessary resources from nature and serve nature with equal reverence. This sensitivity has become a global imperative today. I am happy that India is guiding the world in the field of environmental protection, said President Murmu. As the world trudged the path of development to meet the aspirations of billions of occupants on the earth, it forgot the need to protect nature with equal earnestness and honesty. The result is degeneration of nature. India's Ministry of Environment, Forests and Climate Change says global biodiversity is under an ever-increasing all-round threat due to man's relentless predatory exploitation of natural resources. In a recent symposium, the MOEF and CC observed, driven by wasteful, unbounded greed, man's plunder of land and marine resources has led to a situation where about 25% of species face the threat of extinction. Climate change is the biggest threat facing the world today. Despite its devastating effect, there is still lack of consensus on the ways and means of mitigating it. The UN Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC's first major scientific assessment since 2014, shows that global warming is unfolding more quickly than feared and that humanity is almost entirely to blame. Conservation and ecological balance were the cornerstones of Indian civilization. Our forefathers had given nature a divine stature and worshipped every element of it, be it mountains, rivers and oceans and forests. But post-independence, the priority was for feeding millions of mouths, which burgeoned in the years that followed, taking India to the second most populated country on earth. Fast-paced developmental activities inflicted irreversible damage to the biodiversity of the country. As the world realized the gravity of the situation and started putting its acts together, India took the lead, garnering the global community to combat the menace. At the 2015 Paris Climate Summit, New Delhi took the lead and committed to cut greenhouse gas emissions intensity of its gross domestic product 33 to 35% by 2030, increase non-fossil fuel power capacity to 40% from 28% in 2015, and substantially boost forest cover to reduce carbon dioxide. At the Paris Climate Summit, the world agreed to limit the global temperature rise in this century well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels and pursue efforts to limit it even further to 1.5 degrees Celsius. The latest climate change report of IPCC, however, says the chance of global temperature temporarily reaching 1.5 degrees Celsius threshold in the next 5 years is 50-50. New Delhi has claimed that India is the only country among the G20 nations on track to achieve the goals under the Paris Agreement. India targets to reduce emissions by 33 to 35% of its gross domestic product, GDP, by 2030 from the 2005 level. While the average carbon footprint of the world is about 4 ton per person per annum, it is only 0.5 ton per person per annum in India, according to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. India has a triple challenge of transitioning to low-carbon economy, moving a sizable population out of poverty, and mitigating climate change impacts that have already started to impact and could get even worse. On the sidelines of the Paris Summit, Indian Prime Minister Modi and then French President had conceptualized the International Solar Alliance to mobilize efforts against climate change through deployment of solar energy solutions. ISA seeks to work towards creating a global market system to tap the benefits of solar power and promote clean energy applications. New Delhi has taken the leadership initiative to garner global efforts to address the catastrophe, which would affect every single country. On home ground, it has taken many steps to clean the rivers, restore green cover, and undertake development with a human face. However, climate change is real. It is happening, and it is not a story that can be ignored any longer. The world must take note of it, and necessary course correction should be made to avoid peril.